You want to ask how like a team like Arizona can beat Toronto again. We already talked about how everyone is usually playing their best games when they're facing a team like the Toronto Maple Leafs, because they know it's high profile games. They know that like straight up they're going to have a lot of eyes on them. So it's a good time to perform at your best, man. It's a big pressure game every time against Toronto. So we've talked about that. No reason to go over that again. But if you think about it as well, too, a lot of the bottom teams, right? Why do they suck so bad? Well, they suck so bad because usually they don't have a very good offensive structure. They're not very good at overpowering their opponents, scoring goals, dominating games, right? They lack elite players to get the job done for that stuff. Okay, fine. So what's the one thing that all the lower rated players can do to make themselves valuable? Well, they can defend, right? If you're looking for a job on the Arizona Coyotes because you want to stay in the league, you want to make sure you keep your spot somehow, what's the easiest way to affect that? Right? Easiest way to do that is to block shots, dive for pucks when they're loose. You know what I mean? Do anything you can to make sure you're defending your own zone, making life difficult for your opponents, because if you don't have a job, man. You're not Matthews, you're not Marner, you're not guaranteed $10 million over however many years and stuff like that. You don't have that. So the bottom feeding teams, that's where you usually find a lot of the solid defensive players, because defense is easy, guys. Defense is easy. It's easy. So that's why the lower talented guys can do it. Right? Because they have no other choice. The Leafs just need to recognize they have no other choice. You have no other choice but to play defense in this league. All right? So all those bottom teams offer is defense. They lack the offense, right? And when Leafs go up against good defense, they can't score. Right? If they go up against a solid defensive team like the bottom feeders, they can't seem to score. They're forced to get low opportunity chances, which they're not really good necessarily at putting in all the time. They can be pretty crafty sometimes, though, so it's entertaining to watch our guys, because a 4-1 deficit, flip it around, that would have been doomsday for Toronto, right? But, now they're flipping the script back on a team like Arizona for a second. It's not a bad game to watch. I found it enjoyable. Stressful as you know what. And all the things I want changed on this team. I'm with everybody. I got my own opinions on what needs to be changed. That's the thing. Everybody thinks that I'm like just backing these guys regardless in terms of like, do I think the team is perfect? Like, no, I don't think the team's perfect. I got a list of things I want them to change. It's just because mine's different from most people's, then all of a sudden, like, I'm the jerk? I don't understand, right? I don't understand. So I'm just like you guys in the sense that I also have my own opinions on why this team is struggling and what they need to do to get better. That's part of the fun of being a fan. The difference is it's just not personal for me. This is not personal. This is not going to affect my day tomorrow one bit. A Leafs win or a Leafs loss, my day is still hard tomorrow. Doesn't make my life any easier. So, like, sports is fun, guys, and I have a lot of fun watching it, and I get right into it. I'm a huge fan of it. But you always have to keep it at an arm's distance, man. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you're not cheering for sports anymore. You're making that your life. You know what I mean? You're making that like you're determining your happiness on whether or not a sports team wins or not. Like, you can't be that involved, man. It's not like that. You know what I mean? It can't be. You'll go crazy. There's ups and downs to this thing. There's too much. So you gotta just be confident in the fact that it's just fun to watch. Up, down, middle of the road, doesn't matter. You know what I mean? In the end, you're getting to watch a hockey game with some of the best players in the world. You know, even the worst teams in the league have the best players in the world. Do you understand? Because if you're good at all, you want to be in the NHL. I'm telling you. Those other Russian leagues and stuff, they're doing very well, actually. And the European leagues and there's a few other places that are really starting to grow their game. And they're getting entertaining to watch. But right now, if you're a hockey player and you're really good, your destination is the NHL. That's where you want to be. So, you know? So the Leafs, like I said, they can outscore a lot of problems. It was 4-4. They almost came back and got it. I don't really need to go over their defensive issues. We've talked about them to death. There was some better stuff though. Especially, did you guys notice? Look, before we go into your comments and everything like that, I complain about defense a lot on this team. Do you notice how much better they got once that young guy went in? You see what I'm saying? There's a big difference between how they played in front of Mrazek and how they played in front of the young guy. There was a shift there. Because the shift became, the young kid is young kid. He's doing us a favor right now. We need to do everything we can to not embarrass this kid because, you know what I mean? He shouldn't even have to be put in this position. That's the attitude of those players on the ice in front of him. That's a lot better defense because all of a sudden they're like, I can't afford to give this guy any kind of opportunities. We need to get him through this situation, right? They're playing for their goalie. Earlier on, when Mrazek's in net, one of those goals, man, I swear, there was 4 Leafs, I think, in the crease. Like, behind and around Mrazek. How's he supposed to find his way in there at all, man? You're just storming the net trying to build a wall. That doesn't work, man. And it's getting into the head of our goalies when they do that stuff. Because they're doing a move like that because they don't trust him. They're all trying to play goalie. Why are you all trying to play goalie? You have a goalie. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Let him see it. Jeez. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's the way they want to play it. That's what's going to happen. Unless they're going to score 5, 6, 7 goals like we talked about. Minimum 5. I mean, any team can beat them. You never know. So, that's kind of how I sum up that. Overall, good game to watch. I had fun. It was a good game to watch. They had me fooled. You know what I mean? I thought they were definitely coming back with that storm, that fury. You know what I mean? And just a little slip in the OT. I mean, OT is it's almost a coin flip in itself. Just who's going to catch the breakaway, who's going to catch the right move, whatever else, you know? So OT is kind of a coin flip as well. So they got it, man. Arizona gets us again. Time to move on to the next one. And speaking of that, I'm going to try and get into your comments now. I'm kind of doing it in a little bit different setup here, so it's kind of messed up. I hope I can keep up with you guys, all right? Thank you to everyone following along. Thank you to everyone subscribing and hitting the bits and stuff. That always helps. You know, invest right back into the channel, of course, to expand it, make it better, make it smoother. If you're following along on YouTube, thank you for that as well, and Instagram and all that stuff, okay? Good? Now I want to get into this chat thing, see if I missed any good comments. What did I miss, guys? What did I miss?